Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. How are you? Okay, all right. So let's finish up the things that we want to finish because this is our last class. Now, if you look at if you look at what we have done last class on Monday, I think it's here where I get the determinant of a 3x3 matrix. So that's today, what I will do, we are going to do the inverse of a matrix and determinant of 2x2. Determinant of 2x2 is very simple. And then the inverse, we will also look at the 2x2, not 3x3, because we are out of time. And therefore, application that we will consider, we also just based on the 2x2 matrices. All right, so I will open up another file. So I will start with determinant of a 2x2 matrix. Now, don't worry about this. This is an old material. I will continue here. Okay. Share the share screen. Record apa? All right, good. So the determinant of a 2x2 matrix. Now, if you consider a matrix 2x2, determinant is quite simple. Determinant of a 2x2. We consider matrix A 2x2, just A11, A12, A21, A22, or we can just use ABCD. Kalau tengok dalam, if you look at the book, you know they just use ABCD sebab dia 2x2. So ABCD pun boleh lah. Okay, so either way. Now, the determinant of A is equal to, we just multiply A11 with A22, and then you subtract A12, A21. Okay, so that's, or in terms of ABCD, it's AD minus BC. So that is determinant of a matrix A, 2x2. Example, if I have a 2x2 matrix, 10, 5, negative 2, 3. Okay, what is the determinant of A? So determinant of A, we write it as, that's notation, 10, 5, negative 2, 3. So that is a simple notation for determinant. And what is it equal to? It's equal to, we look at the formula, all right? That's how you get the determinant. So that's equal to what? 10 times 3 minus 5 times negative 2. So you have a negative 10 and then there is a negative sign, so that becomes a plus. So that will be 30 plus 20. That would be 20. 10 times 2 would be 5. Again, 5. I know 10 times 2 is 10. So 10. So you got 40. So determinant is 40. Correct? So for 2x2 matrix, very simple to get the determinant. You just multiply the principal diagonal elements and then you subtract the elements in the other diagonal. Okay, all right. So look at the book, 3.4. Determinant of a matrix, 3.4. So we are now in 3.4. So next, I would like to look at the inverse of a matrix A. All right, what is the inverse of a matrix A? Now, inverse of a matrix A. Now, number one, we must have a square matrix to have the inverse. In other words, you have A n by n. Example is A 3 by 3, okay? Or A 2 by 2. So we look at only 2 by 2. So it must be a square matrix. Now, what is the inverse of A? Inverse of A is denoted by A to the power of -1. But we don't say A to the power of -1. You call it A inverse. So this is similar to the inverse of a number. If you look at number, if the number is 5, what is the inverse of 5? The inverse of 5 is 5 to the power of -1, which is 1 over 5. So that's the inverse. So the idea is like that. Inverse is, the inverse of a matrix A is A inverse, denoted by that one, such that if I multiply the inverse of A with the matrix A, that will be equal to I. Or you can also multiply it on the other side. Okay, you got I. So similarly, come from here. If you multiply the inverse of 1 over 5 with a 5, then what do I get? I get 1. So I ni macam 1 lah. Okay, I means identity matrix. And if you recall, identity matrix is what? Is the element in the primary diagonal 1, the other elements are 0. So 2 by 2, you got 1, 0, 0, 1. If it is a 3 by 3, I got 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so that is the inverse of a matrix, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. So we just look at 2 by 2. Now, how do you get the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix? Very simple, because it's just a 2 by 2. Now, we don't, it's not that we don't want to consider the 3 a 3 by 3 or higher. But thing is now we are out of time. If we have classes next week, then kita boleh lah. But now, we don't have time. This is our last class. So the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix is equal to what? Is equal to 1 over the determinant of A. That's the determinant of A. You multiply by, all right, multiply by, you switch the elements in the principal diagonal. So A22, A11, you switch. And then you put a negative sign on the other element. So that is the inverse of, not the inverse, you multiply by 1 over the determinant. In terms of A, B, C, D, 1 over the determinant of A, you switch A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So you switch A and D, you put negative sign on B and C, and then multiply by 1 over determinant. Okay, so that is the determinant of matrix A 2 by 2. Right. Okay, now we know determinant. So I give you an example. So we go back to this matrix that we did earlier. So we already got the determinant of A, all right? I want you to find the inverse of this A. 10, 5, negative 2, 3. Okay, the first person who get it, let me know so that we can move on. Okay, now I'll give you 3 minutes to do this. Okay, get the inverse of this A. Find inverse of A. Okay, you got it? Anybody get it? Just tell me. First person to get it, let me know. Yeah. Okay. You got the inverse? Somebody got inverse. All right, good. So if you do the inverse, you just follow the rule. Okay, we just follow the rule. So the rule is this: A inverse is 1 over determinant of A. You multiply by the adjustment of the matrix A in that manner. So what do I get? So the A inverse is equal to, I just write here 1 over determinant of A. I don't find the determinant yet, all right? We just do it step by step. I put in the adjusted matrix A. So you switch the 3 and the 10, all right? And then you put negative sign on the other terms. So negative 5, negative of negative 5, that becomes a 5. Negative 5. Negative 5, eh? 5, you put negative 5. And then negative 2, you put a negative 2, that becomes 2. Okay? So here negative of negative 2, 2 lah. All right? So that's a 2. Then you get determinant. Okay? Maybe don't be confused. Okay? You don't get determinant of this matrix. All right? This is not what we want. You want the determinant of the original matrix. So I will do that now. So what do I get? I get 10 times 3 minus 5 negative 2. Okay, so multiplied by 3 negative 5 to 10. All right, so that will be equal to 1 over. So I write another step, 1 over 40, 3 negative 5 to 10. So what is it equal to? Multiply, just like a scalar multiplication. We got 3 over 40, negative 5 over 40, 2 over 40, 10 over 40. Simplify lah if you want to. I think everything here can be simplified, at least by factor of 2. Now, if you want to check whether you got the right inverse or not, so you multiply the inverse with A, you should get I. All right, so for a 2 by 2 matrix, kita mesti dapat 1, 0, 0, 1. If I don't get 1, 0, 0, 1, that means we are wrong. So go ahead, check again what went wrong. So if you got that number or you got another matrix, it doesn't matter. Okay, you multiply, because I can be wrong here. Okay, now you multiply by the inverse by A. So you do this, check. Okay, everybody do that. Whatever you get, okay, you multiply with A, and then see whether do you got I or not. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want you to do. Now, anybody get the same as mine, or you get a different matrix, the A inverse? Do you get this one, or you don't?
Yes, same.
Okay, if it is different, maybe you are right, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so don't always think that I'm always right. So if you got different, tak apa, you go ahead, check, multiply by the inverse of A. Okay, and A. If you got same as mine, that means probably I'm correct. But still you have to check. Okay, so multiply with the inverse of A, whether you got I or not. Okay, don't multiply with my matrix. Okay, you multiply with your matrix and see whether your matrix you answer lah. All right, see whether you multiply by the inverse, you got I or not. And I will also do that multiplication. And since somebody else get the same matrix, so I think you multiply lah. Okay, multiply tengok. Kita dapat berapa? I. Ni 3040 yang salah. Okay, got it? So if you look at what I have here, I can simplify. All right. So this is just, okay, to check whether we got the right inverse or not. So I got 3/40. Negative 5/40, that is negative 1/8. 2/40 is 1/20. Here 1/4. Okay, multiply with the original matrix, 10, 5, negative 2. So you multiply each row to every column. So the first one, I will do it. I got 3/40 times 10 plus, okay, plus negative 1/8 multiply negative 2. So what do I get? I get 3/4, okay, plus negative 2 negative 8, 1/4. Dapat 1. So that is 1. So almost correct lah. Okay, almost correct, tapi taklah correct lagi. So you multiply the first row, second column. What do we get? I get 3/40. So that's why it's important to show the steps. Okay, show the work. It's okay. Take more space. Don't just multiply. Suddenly you get 1001 out of the blue. Okay, so don't do that. You have to show it. So now I cannot write 01 lagi tu, because we only multiply one term. I mean one row with the first column. So 3/40 multiplied with the 5. Okay, multiply 5 plus negative 1/8 times 3. So apa dapat? You got 8/40. Apa pula 8/40? 5 times 3, 15/40. Mana pula pergi 8/40? 15/40 minus 3/8. Okay, berapa dapat? 0. So 0. Okay. Now the second row. Betul ke tak betul? Dapat 1001 ke tak dapat? Anybody who get the same answer as mine, you multiply the next one. Do I get 0 or you don't? And here, do you get 1? Tadi siapa tadi yang dapat sama jawapan dengan saya?
Sama-sama.
Sama kan? Okay, so betul. Our inverse is correct. So that is the inverse of A. Okay, so the inverse of A is equal to that matrix. All right. Okay. Now, why do you study the inverse of a matrix? That is important. Because when you want to solve a problem, okay, a matrix problem, you want to solve for the matrix of variables. The inverse, is a way to get the solution. So this is how I will show you. Now, you go back to a system of equations, linear equations, that we were talking about during the first topic. So you have a system of linear equations or linear functions. Then consider a 2x2 system, right? 2x2. 2x2 means 2 variables, 2 equations. 2x2 system. So we have what? We have the variables x, y, two variables x, y, okay, and 2 equations. So you have, we use in terms of a matrix, the coefficient, a11x plus a12y equal to, say here, b1. And here I got a21x plus a22y equal b2. Or you can use also a, b, c, d, no problem. A x plus by equal to h. Because dengan D kita dah pakai dah untuk bawah ni. Ax plus dy equal k. You can also use that. Okay. But I use this because we are consistent. We want to be consistent with the notation of the matrix. Now we write this in terms of matrices. right, in matrix form. So what you do, the constants, the coefficient, you put in one matrix, the variables in one matrix. So I have A11, A12, A21, A22, multiplied to the matrix X, Y, equal to B1, B2. So that is the matrix form of the equation. So if you multiply that out, okay, A11X plus A12Y, you got the first equation equal to B1. You multiply the second row with the column matrix, you get equation number 2. So that form, you can rewrite in simple notation, AX equal B. Now, this is matrix form. We use capital letter, okay? This capital X to indicate the matrix of the variables. This capital A to indicate the matrix of the coefficient. So here you have a matrix of constants or coefficient. Okay, coefficient. The matrix are the constants are the coefficient. And this is matrix of the variables. Okay, and here matrix of the constants. Constant matrix. So I have AX equal B. Now what we do, you multiply both sides by A inverse on the left. So we do that, we will get the following. Okay, are you done? Are you done here? Finish? I want you to write. Okay, finish? All right. So if we do that, I multiply on both sides. Multiply both sides. On multiply both sides with by boleh juga tak? With A inverse on the left. Okay, so I have A inverse multiply A X equal to A inverse multiply B. So this is what we mean by on the left. On the left, you put that inverse on the left. Okay, on the left, on your left. So that's it. Now, you know that A inverse multiplied with A, what do I get? I get I. X equal to the inverse of A multiplied B. And Ix is just X. So in order for you to solve for the X, okay, solve for X, I mean for X and Y lah. All right. For our, if you use the previous understanding for X and Y, same thing. Because X is equal to XY, right? Now what do? You just need the inverse of A. So you have to find the inverse of A, okay? And number 2, you multiply the A inverse on the left with the B. And then what I get? I get X, okay? So that is the thing. So we are going to use the inverse of A to find the solution to the system, okay? With the variables. Okay, all right. So I'll give you an example. Okay, let's see, finish. All right, I'll give you an example. Let's say we have the following. Let's say I got 2x plus 4y equal to 21. And then I get negative 5x plus 10 plus 3y equal to 16. Ini itu tukar. Ini kita taruh 27. Alright. So by our approach, this is equal to equation 1. So what I want you to do, I want you to write the system in matrix form, like that. Number 2, get the inverse of A. Okay, I show you the steps, so you can do one by one. And then solve for X. Okay, so do it now. I give you 10 minutes to do it. Okay, you got it. So first, you write in the matrix form, AX equal B. So what do I have? We have here 2, 4, -5, 3. Then I have X, Y equal to 27, 16. So you make sure you multiply out, you get that equation. So 2 times X plus 4Y, all right, equal 27. So betul lah. So you just write the coefficient in that order. So tak payah nak fikir panjang. Okay, the order that is given in the equation, that's how you write the coefficient matrix A. So you got AX equal to B. Now, how do you solve for the X? Kita dah tahu dah. The method. Method is what? The inverse of A multiplied B. So therefore, what we need is the inverse of A. So just find the inverse of A. Now, what you get inverse of A? Everybody got it yet or no? Dapat ke belum? Okay, yang dah dapat itu cakap. The first person who get it, let me know. Cakap dia dah dapat ke belum? Dapat ke? Belum lagi. Kalau belum, I give you a little bit more time. Kalau dah dapat, we can proceed.
Saya dah dapat dah.
Dapat dah? Okay, good. So, let's go through. Okay, let's go through that. So you want to find the inverse of A, you know how to do it, right? So the inverse of A, I think I will write here. The inverse of A is equal to 1 over the determinant, okay? The determinant of A multiplied by, benda tadi lah, okay? A22, A11, A negative A12, negative A21. So that is the formula. That will be equal to, so now what I do, I find the determinant of A. Okay, the determinant of A, you already know A is that one. So that will be equal to 2, 4, negative 5, 3, and that is equal to 2 times 3 minus 4 times negative 5. So that will be 2 plus 20, so that is 26. So the inverse of A is 26. And the A inverse is equal to 1 over 26. You multiply with 3, 2, negative 4, 5. Multiply. All right. So what do we get? We get 3 over 26, negative 4 over 26, 5 over 26, 2 over 26. Okay. So if you don't get that thing, check where you get wrong, okay? Where you went wrong. So check balik lah. So wherever you went wrong, buat correction. Any question? All right. So multiply. Okay, you multiply with the thing, see what you get. So you got to solve for the X. So how do I solve for the X? Multiply the inverse of A with the B. So I go to the next page. So X is equal to the inverse of A, which I already wrote. So now I write the inverse, which we already found. So 3 over 26, negative 4 over 26, 5 over 26, 2 over 26. You not simplify pun boleh. Multiply to the constant matrix. So you got 27, 16. Okay, so anybody multiply out, what do you get? Just tell me, because I don't want to multiply. Berapa dapat? For the X, for the first one, berapa dapat? First row, first column. Anybody get the value yet?
17 over 26.
17 over 26.
26.
Okay, everybody, is that right? If you get different answer, tell me. If you have same answer, also kata betul. Second. Betul, 17 over 26. Okay, second one?
6, 11 over 26.
Apa?
167 over 26.
167 over 26. Yang betul ke? Apa saya yang atas tu kecil sangat, bawah besar sangat? Betul ya? Kalau betul, betul lah. Alright. Okay, is that correct? Somebody counter check ni. Betul ke tak betul? Nanti kita buat salah pula. Betul So somebody confirm je lah. Betul ke tak betul? If you get this. Alright, good. So that's it. And that is equal to, okay, that thing here, actually x is xy equal to 17 over 26. 167 over 26. So in order to make more sense, kita buat in decimal point. Barulah nampak sikit, you know, the size. So 17 over 26. Berapa? 0.65. So lebih kurang lah 0.65. And then you have 167. Sebab sekarang saya calculator saya dah jumpa dah. So saya boleh calculate. 6.42. So that is our solution. So x is equal to 0.65. Y equal to 6.42. That is our answer. All right. So now, you know, we have two ways of solving a system of equation. One is by the substitution method. The other is by matrix method. So in order to check whether our inverse is correct or not, so you check, okay, what you got here, you multiply with A. Now, do we get I? Do we get I or not? So you check at home. Okay, for now, we assume that what we got is correct. All right, okay. So that is 3.4. 3.4, I would like you to do some questions. So 3.4, get the inverse of the matrix. All right, get inverse. You can do from question 5 up to 10. Okay, this is just practice to get the inverse. We just do 2 by 2. So these are questions. And then we also do from the system. Okay, from the system of equation, you do it in matrix form. So do that question 30 to 32. All right. So that one, you know, 32 is the question that is similar to the example that I give you. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to do next is the application. Okay, one application of this type of thing. We go to 3.5. So 3.5, we are going to look at input-output model. So this problem is called the input-output. Input-output model or problem model. Or sometimes you can say problem. Now, what is input-output? Okay, this is a macroeconomic model. Macroeconomic model. So this is a model of the economy as a whole. Okay, model of the economy. Example, Malaysian economy. Or if you come from Indonesia, Indonesian economy. Okay, so just the whole economy. It's not microeconomics where you look at the household. Here we look at the general economy as a whole. Now, in the macroeconomy model, there are so many industries. Okay, there are so many firms, there are so many factories, there are so many businesses, and there are so many customers. There are so many consumers. I'm sorry, customers, consumers. So we are going to do this. We are going to categorize these industries into sectors, or sometimes they call it industries. Okay, but that's more general. So you categorize into sectors. That means a few or many similar types of businesses, you put them into one category or one sector. So if you recall, if you have taken principles of macroeconomics, give me one sector of the economy. Normally, what sector? Kita selalu pakai sektor mana?
Public and private.
It's not that. Okay, that's a good idea. It's not that kind of sector. It's not private public. Okay, itu betul tak tu. Tapi for now, we just want to look at the business, the companies, the firms. We categorize them into sector, not into private and public. For this sector here, we consider only the private. Okay, private sector, not necessarily sector, but the firms, the businesses. Okay, businesses, firms, factories, or producers. Now, what kind of sector do we put those things into? Give me one sector. Give me one. This is one category. Okay, public, private. But for this, we don't consider that approach. Okay, apa sektor itu guna? Macroeconomic punya tu. Sectors of the firms.
Agriculture.
One sector is agriculture. Okay, agriculture means all those people that plant, plant food or plant plants that can benefit the economy. We put in agriculture. Okay, for example, if you plant rubber, okay, or you plant kelapa sawit, or you plant chili, okay, all this, or you plant tegong, ladies' fingers, not tegong is not ladies' fingers, ladies' fingers or whatever. Okay, so these are agriculture. That's one sector. Okay, give me another sector. Okay, the other sector that is generally we categorize our business, manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing, or sometimes they call it what? Producer, manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing. One sector, services sector, service sector. All right, so you have a service sector. Okay, all right. Yeah, public, public sector. But we want to focus on the private part. Okay, so what you did was also good. That is the most broad category. So normally we put in agriculture, manufacturing, and services. So since we're looking at only 2 by 2, okay, 2 by 2, kita guna 2 je lah. We use only agriculture, manufacturing. Suppose there are 2 sectors of the economy, agriculture and manufacturing. So for these 2 industries or 2 sectors, there will be what? There will be the total, there will be quantities of output produced. Okay, output produced by each sector. Output produced, output produced by each of the sector. Produced by each sector. Okay, let's say chili. All right, they produce chili or produce rice, or flour. Now, if you consider output produced by the planters of chili, where do this chili go to? Who bought the chili? Who buy chili? And how is it consumed? Okay, who buy chili? Or tepung, or rice. Okay, who bought this kind of goods? Kan punya gambar orang dalam ekonomi ni, you know.
Retail hypermarket.
One is retailer. Okay. Lagi siapa lagi beli? Siapa lagi beli this chili ni? Or whatever, rice ke, flour, you think. Who else buy this chili other than retailer?
Consumers.
Consumers. Okay. What else?
Supplier.
Supplier. Supplier. Okay. Supplier means the middleman. All right. Suppliers. Okay. Who else? Okay. Now, if you look at this, the people who bought the product. All right. Now you can categorize this as two. One, consumers. If you go to the consumers, it means household, there'll be no more reselling. Okay, no more reselling. Reselling, finished. They are going to be what? Final consumption. Okay, if the chili is bought by the household, they cook, eat. Okay, so final consumption. There will be no more reselling. Okay, final consumption. We call this, if you look at the book, they call it what? They call it, there's a term there, you go to the book, apa dipanggil? Final demand. Okay, they call it final demand or surplus. So we're talking about the same thing. Okay, final demand, surplus. That means it will be final consumption. There will be no more reselling. Okay, now if that thing go to retailers or suppliers, they're going to be reselling. All right. So if you look at the retailer or supplier, other than selling to the consumers, who buy chili from the retailers other than the consumers, household? You think about rice ke, tepung ke, chili ke, the consumers buy from retailers. Okay, that go for final consumption. Now, who else buy these goods from the retailers?
Restaurant.
Lagi. So if you look at that part, all right, the other part will be what? Will be restaurant, industries, So they go to other sectors. They will go to other sectors of the economy. Example, restaurant. Okay, that's good. Restaurant, they don't consume the chili. They what? They are going to make other things from the chili. Okay, or other types of firms, that make chili bowl, chili powder, everything, okay, from chili. So the output that is produced by one sector will go to other sectors. As what? As inputs. To produce other goods. Okay, to produce other goods. So there are two main components. So the total output of one sector will go into what? Will be used as inputs to produce other goods. Okay, plus natang ni lah, final demand. Okay, final demand or surplus. So that is the use. Okay, the use. So total output of one sector. Here we are talking about one sector. Okay, will go into will be used as what? Be used as inputs to produce other goods and final demand. All right. Now let's go back to our two sectors, agriculture, manufacturing. So now let's call the quantity of the output of the agriculture X. Quantity of the output from manufacturing, call it Y. So XY is the variable. Okay, XY indicate the quantity. Okay, quantity of output. From whom? From where? From agriculture sector. In units. Okay, and Y is the quantity of output from manufacturing in units. So you got X and Y. Okay, and X and Y, some of them will go into inputs. So there are two sectors. So we have the following. You got X equal to what? Equal to A11X plus A12Y plus D1. And then similarly for the Y, it will go to A21X plus A22Y plus D2. Okay, this is the use. Okay, the use as inputs. And this is the final demand or surplus. Okay, so some proportion of the total output, all right, will go into inputs. Some amount will go into final consumption. All right, so A11 though, A11, A12, A21, A22 is the proportion, okay? The proportion of each. The proportion, just like per unit, per unit average, something like that. Proportion of X, Y, that goes into XY. Okay. Now you write that in terms of matrix. So in terms of matrix, we have X, Y equal to now A11, A12, A21, A22 multiplied by X, Y plus D1, D2. So that is the matrix form. If you look at the matrix form, it's a little bit different than AX equal to B. You have what? We have the following form. You have X equal to AX plus D. That D is the final demand. A, we call it A, the technology matrix. Now I will talk about that afterwards, okay? A little bit, technology matrix. But now, what you want to do, you want to solve this. You want to solve for X. In other words, you want to find amount of X, the quantity of the output in the agriculture sector, and Y to satisfy the total demand. Okay, the total demand means the users as input and also final consumption. So you want to solve the X. All right, what do? You solve the equation first. So you bring the AX to the left, and then you factor out the X. And then you multiply, you find the inverse of I minus A, and then multiply both sides. So you find inverse of A, not inverse of A, I'm sorry, inverse of I minus A. We don't need inverse of A, you need inverse of I minus A. All right, then you multiply on the left. So I minus A inverse multiplied with I minus A, X equal to I minus A inverse times D. And here is equal to I, X equal to I minus A inverse times D. And Ix is just equal to X. So you got I minus A inverse times D. So to solve the problem here, what do I need? You need I minus X inverse. You don't need A inverse, okay? You need I minus X inverse. So you find that thing and then multiply on the left with the D, you got X. So that is the method. Very similar to the one that I have earlier. Okay, you still have, you need to find the inverse, right? You need to find the inverse, and then we are going to get it multiplied with the D. Okay, any question? Okay, now I want to look at the A. Now A, what is it? It's equal to A11, A12, A21, A22. Now that is the technology matrix. Now, when you want to describe this matrix, we go by the column. Okay, we go by the column. Bawah ni. Okay, so here, what is this? This is input requirement for X. Okay, in this case here, agriculture lah. All right, so this is agriculture. This is manufacturing. And here will be input requirement for Y. This is manufacturing. So that will depend on what is X and what is Y. Okay. Now, what do you mean by input requirement? That means to produce, okay, to produce 1 unit of X. All right. In this case here, agriculture. Then we need what? We need A11 unit of X, agriculture, and A21 units of Y, which is manufacturing. So I put manufacturing here. Sebab kita tak tulis lagi Y tu. And then the second column, so to produce 1 unit of what? 1 unit of Y, which is manufacturing. Okay, what do we need? We need A12, A12 units of X, which is agriculture, and A22 units of Y, which is manufacturing. So that is input requirement. Okay, that is input requirement for 1 unit. So to produce 1 unit, so the unit that we need from the other sectors will be given by the value of the technology matrix or coefficient respectively of each sector. Okay, all right. So example, all right, example, we may have 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.1, something like that, because 1 unit. Okay, so if 1 unit, the proportion here, the value of A11 must be less than 1. Okay, so the value of the AII must be between 0 and 1. Cannot be more than 1 because this is per unit. Okay, 1 unit. So for 1 unit. All right. So here, what do you mean by this number in the first column? So let's say this is agriculture. Let's say that is manufacturing. So in other words, if I want to produce 1 unit of agriculture good or agriculture output, I need what? I need 0.2 units of agriculture. And I need 0.4 unit of manufacturing output. Okay. Now, that is for 1 unit. But you can also generalize. People can ask, what about if I want to produce 1,000 units of agricultural goods? How much of agriculture output do I need? You know per unit requirement. Okay, per unit requirement is 0.2. So if 1,000, then how much do I need? How much do I need? 1 unit, I need 0.2. 1,000? How much do I need?
So 0.500.
200. Betul tak? 200. Did you say 200? Yeah, you multiply by 1,000. Yeah. Okay, if I want to produce 100, you multiply by 100. Okay, so that is simple business multiplication. Okay, so why? Because the numbers given here is requirement for 1 unit. So make sure that goes by the column. Okay, it doesn't go by the row. Okay, by the row that will be different interpretation. So that would be the thing. Okay, any question? So that is A matrix. And you don't want to find the inverse of A. You want to find inverse of what? Inverse of I minus A. So let's look at one example. Okay, let's look at one example. I give you some questions on that part. So 3.5. Okay, I would like you to do 11 up to 14. Up to 14. 11 to 14. Then you go 19, 20. Okay, 19, 20, you need to find the A. Okay, make sure you do this. Okay, 19, 20 ini very important. Mesti able to get the A. All right. How do you get the A? To follow what I said here. Okay, by the column. All right. Now let's look at one question. Let's look at question number 11. Okay, if you look at question number 11, what are we given here? Okay, question 11. Okay, you got it. Now, if you look at that question, number 11, you have two sectors, all right? Farm and then machinery. Not farm, two industries. Farm products, farm machinery. So it's not about the farm, it's about farm products and farm machineries. So you look at the matrix A, all right? You have first column is P, and then the first row is also P. So therefore, the farm products, you call it X. Okay, the quantity is given in units. And then the machinery products, we call it Y. Okay, all right. And surpluses, the surplus is given 96 and 5. So you are given already the matrix. Okay, so you're given already the matrix, then our life is a little bit simpler because we already have the matrix A. Now, what is the problem? Our problem is this: is X equal to what? I minus A inverse multiplied by D. So if you want to find the X, all right, gross production of each industry, then this is what you need. You need to find X, all right, the quantities of X and Y that we need to produce in order to satisfy the demand. Okay, so you are given A, which is equal to that thing. So you find I minus A. All right, I minus A is equal to what? 1001 minus the matrix A, which is 0 0.5, 0 0.1, 0 0.1, 0 0.3. All right, equal to what? Equal to 1 minus 0 0.5, that is 0 0.5. 0 minus 0 0.1, that is negative 0 0.1. Here, negative 0 0.1. Here is 0 0.7. So I got I minus A. So you find the inverse of I minus A. Okay? Fine. So homework. And then the matrix D, that is the final demand or surpluses. That is 96 and 8. So that one is matrix D. Okay? So our D is equal to 96, 8. Habis itu. Now, All right. So you got the D. I got the I minus A. You get the inverse. You multiply to the D. Problem solved. All right. Okay. All right. Now you look back into the matrix A. Okay, matrix A. Here, this one, this matrix. Saya tak tulis lagu. If you look at the matrix A, what does this mean here? 0.5. What does it mean? It means to produce 1 unit of farm product, we need what? We need 0.5 unit of output from the farm product. Okay, and 0.1 to produce 1 unit of the farm product, we need 0.1 unit of what? Of farm machinery product or output. Okay, so that is the per unit input requirement. Okay, that's per unit lah. So if they ask you for 100 unit, multiply by 100. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, any question? So make sure you do the question 19. Yang saya bagi je lah, 19, 20. Okay, if you want to do more, it's good. So make sure you get the, for 19, 20, you find A. Okay, if you are not sure, you ask in WhatsApp. Okay, jangan ask, don't message me in my phone number. You put in group WhatsApp. Okay, so anything question you put in group WhatsApp so that it benefit not just you, it benefit other people, and also other people can benefit you. Okay, all right. So make use of the group WhatsApp if you have any problem. Okay, any question? All right. Now, if there is no question, there is one last thing that I need to look at. Actually, this is we go back to chapter number 1, the effect of tax on the market. So I did give you one question last time, in the homework. But how do you input tax? So you look at 1.6, the tax. If you look at the 11th edition, this is page 108. Now, if tax T is imposed on the market, normally imposed on the supply function, on the firms. Okay, if imposed on the supply function, P equal to FQ, then what happened? The price will increase. So what the firm does? The firm will just increase the price, right? So increase the price, that means the supply function will shift upward. Okay, will shift to the left or upward. So if you look at the diagram, it will be like this. This is Q, that is P. The demand function is like that. Supply function, too. All right. So after the tax, the price will be just increased by the amount of the tax. So supply S1, and that is the amount of the tax. So therefore, if you look at the market model, let's say at the beginning, the supply is P equal to FQ, and then the demand P equal to G of Q. All right. After we impose the tax, then after tax, we have a new equilibrium. The supply now becomes S1, P equal to what? FQ plus T. So you add tax to the supply, and then the demand doesn't change. Okay, demand is still same thing. Now, when you do this, make sure the function in that way. Price function of Q. I'm sorry, Q bukan P. P function of P. Okay, Q. Make sure P function of Q. If you are given Q function of P, then buat adjustment lah. All right. So that is the how effect. So you find equilibrium here. You find equilibrium here. So there are two equilibriums, and the effect will be what? Will be different lah. Then you see the effect of the tax. All right. If you look at these two equilibriums, this is E0 before the tax, that is E1. You can see here, quantity will be reduced, price will increase because of the tax. Okay, all right. So an example, okay, example, if you have tax equal to $5, all right? Now let's say our demand supply demand P equal to 2Q plus 7. And the demand P equal to negative 1.5Q plus 250. Okay, so after the tax is imposed, the supply will change. All right, so I got S1, P equal to what? P equal to 2Q plus 5. How do you get it? Then supply will change. You will have P equal to what? P equal to FQ plus the tax. So make sure we know how to do that. The tax will be added to the price or to the supply function. And you get the supply function added with the tax. And the demand do not change, okay? Demand still the same. So demand still the same. You got 1.5Q plus 250. So here you get one equilibrium before the tax. Here you got the equilibrium with the tax. So I want you to go home. Okay, I don't have time now. Go home, finish this up. Okay, and let's sketch the graph. You can see the effect, the effect on the price and the effect on the quantity. And that will be on page 108. So for that part, you can do some practice question. I'll give you question number okay, number 55 and 56. So 1.6 again. 1.6. Okay, do 55, 56. All right. Okay, any question? Anything? Any comment? All right. Okay, good. Now, I have a few more minutes. I would like to talk a few things about the final. Okay, our final exam, like I said earlier, comprehensive, cover every topic. So don't ask me this question again. Okay, I already said beginning, I am saying it now. The final exam is comprehensive, cover the first topic up to the topic that is what I discussed today. So cover everything, okay, comprehensive. But we are given choice. So I give you 5 questions, you answer only 4. So by doing that, hopefully, can improve our performance lah. Okay, you can skip the questions that you are not that sure. So you are given choice to answer 4 out of 5. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2. Now, some camp, I can finish the camp, not all, I give you the group homework. Group homework ada 2 kan? 2. And then quiz. So probably these 2 things, I can give it to you sooner lah. So I put metric number and your marks, I post this on WhatsApp. So you can check. All right. And then midterm maybe later. Now the bonus homework, there are 2 bonus homework. Okay, the bonus homework 2, I don't show it to you, okay? Because bonus homework, I give you 5 marks, 10 marks, okay? So that is my discretion. You submit, I give you the mark, okay? Because this is not based on how you do. It's just based on submission. You submit, you give yourself 4 marks or 5 marks, I give you 4 or 5. For the second one, if you give yourself 9 or 10, that's it, all right? Normally, I don't make adjustment. So this one, I don't show it to you, okay? Because it's a bonus. So bonus, that will help. That will help you for the homework, okay? So from here, that will help a lot. Let's say you get 5 marks out of 10. The 10% kan, the 10%, the homework. Katakan you get 5%. And this bonus homework, you get 5%. So for the homework, given the bonus, you get 10 out of 10. So that's how it help you. Okay, but I don't show it to you because it's a bonus. So some people who didn't do, tak ada lah. Okay, some people who come to class did the homework, you get that bonus. So it helped a lot, you know. So that's how it works, right? So you don't ask me bonus how much you get, okay? Because that one just I just for me to evaluate. Okay, I don't show it to you, but it's just based on submission. Okay, you do the work, you make the correction, you get the mark. Okay, all right. So don't worry about that part. I will only show you the group homework and also the quiz and the midterm if I can do it on time. Okay, all right. Okay, any comment, any question, anything? Tak ada. Okay, tak ada. Very good. So I will stop here. I will see you again. Okay, I will see you again on the final date of the exam. And if you have anything, okay, any question, okay, any question or anything about any question, you post in the group WhatsApp. Okay, group WhatsApp. So that not just you benefit, other people also benefit. Okay, jangan PM saya lah. Don't WhatsApp my personal number. Because this is a group homework. No, not group homework lah. This is coursework, and I hope you know. Okay, all right, good. So I will see you again. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice time study. Hopefully people can improve. All right. Okay, good. So I will see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.